Please leave a message after the tone.
Hello, my name is Adam Sandler, and welcome to So Sandlerous, the Sandman movie podcast. A gabagoo.
Hello and welcome to So Sandlerous, the Sandman movie podcast, a podcast where we discuss the movies of famed amateur hockey player turned pro golfer Adam Sandler. My name is Kerry Jones, and as always, I am joined by my best friend and my co-host, Matt Wolstenholme.
Welcome back this week, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great week and ready to talk some happy fucking Gilmore.
Yep, we have finally made it. 7 weeks in, and we're at the peak.
7 weeks in, we've climbed to the top of the mountain. We've made it.
It was quite slow getting here, but the descent all the way back down to Hoobie Halloween.
Sure to be an interesting journey.
That's going to be something else. But yeah, this week's movie is Happy Gilmore. I feel like this is probably one of the core movies of most of our childhood. This is definitely a part of mine. Matt, what's your history with this movie? What does this movie mean to you?
It's Happy Gilmore. It's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
It's just one of those movies I think you could speak to like almost everyone, and pretty much anyone's seen it, especially when they were a kid. And it's just dumb, but it's so funny. It's so good.
Yeah, I think anyone who's seen it, most people can quote it, especially the I ate pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast. Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, it was one of my favorite movies. It was the movie that got me into golf when I was younger. And
I didn't know you were a big golf fan when you were younger.
yeah, I still, well, not so much recently over the last couple of years, but I used to play quite a lot until I was like 20. And yeah, I remember my golf teacher, if I behaved in my lessons, he would let me spend the last 5 minutes doing Happy Gilmore shots because that's all I was interested in.
Fucking hell, that's sick.
Yeah. So yeah, whenever I go to the golf range, I always throw in a couple of Happy Gilmore shots to see
you have
to see how it goes. But yeah,
Get to the driving range, get to Top Golf. Oh, just you know for a fact I'm taking 3 steps back and absolutely swinging for the fences.
You gotta smack the shit out of that ball, get that 400-yarder in. But no, growing up, this was always on probably ITV2, one of the movies I used to watch with my father all the time. Just something.
Yeah, this was always on.
Yeah, all the time. And watching it this week and just those, like that opening and the music hit me straight away. Just, I don't know, it just hit me with so much nostalgia. And
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all, but the opening note of the movie and Sandler's voiceover, it just took me back to being a 9-year-old kid.
Oh, and he's just talking about him and his grandma
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah. This movie and American Pie 3. And I remember watching American Pie.
Why the wedding?
It was just another film that was on all the time. And I remember distinctly, I remember I must have been about 12 years old. And you can ask my dad about this because I'm sure he remembers as well. But there's a bit in the film and they're talking about the bachelor party and Stifler goes, and we can have a dildo show. And I just remember laughing so much at the fact that they could have a dildo show. And my father was like, do you even know what a dildo is? I was like, no. But no.
Adult puppets, just play my dildo.
But no, this movie is definitely something special.
No, it's a good fucking movie.
Yeah. Should we get into it and talk about the plot?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Right. This week's movie is Happy Gilmore.
For 400 years, golf has been a gentleman's game. A game of tradition, etiquette, and above all, sportsmanship. Until now.
Y'all ready for this?
Meet Happy Gilmore. He was a hockey player.
That's my puck, baby! Don't you ever touch my puck!
Who was skating on thin ice. But when his grandma needed his help,
Mrs. Gilmore owes the IRS $270,000. We're gonna have to sell the house to someone else.
But she's an old lady. I mean, look at her. She's old.
he discovered a new talent.
The house is like 400 yards away. That's unbelievable.
Now he's going from the rinks
Step right up, folks. See if you can outdrive the amazing golf ball whacker guy.
to the links.
Where you going with those clubs, punk?
I'm your caddy.
He's gonna be on the tour. That's super.
He's got the swing. He's got the drive.
He shoots, he scores!
He's got the balls.
Oh God, that hurt a little, but I'm all right.
Quite a large and economically diverse crowd here at the Invitational. I guess it's the new tour sensation, Happy Gilmore.
Hey, if I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
And while he's trying to keep Granny out of the rest home,
I'm telling you, this place is perfect. You're gonna make friends in no time.
he's driving the game of golf.
Why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Straight into the ground.
Damn you people, this is golf!
I'm Bob Barker. Looks like you and I are going to be playing together today.
This guy sucks. All right, let's go.
Universal Pictures presents Adam Sandler
The price is wrong, Bob.
as golf's missing link, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore is a 1996 American sports comedy film directed by Dennis Dugan and written by Adam Sandler and Tim Herlihy. The movie stars Adam Sandler, Christopher McDonald, Julie Bowen, Carl Weathers, Alan Covert, Frances Bay as Grandma, and Dennis Dugan as Doug. So Dennis Dugan, he's the director of this. He's been a long time collaborator with Sandler. He's going to come up a lot in this podcast. I think he directed this, Grown Ups 1 and 2, Big Daddy, Jack and Jill, Just Go With It. He's direct like 50% of Sandler's movies. I think he probably it's ridiculous how much they've collaborated on this thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just going to bring me so much joy just talking about this film. But yeah, Adam Sandler, Christopher McDonald, known from this movie. He's also in a superhero movie as the evil Norman Osborn type character. And have you seen a superhero movie with Drake Bell as the Hornet or the Fly?
I mean, I was following with superhero movie, and then you said Drake Bell in the leading role, and you've lost me there. I've got no idea what this is.
Yeah, so there was a parody movie in like 2006 that parodied the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and Drake Bell was the Peter Parker.
Is this going to be in our movies series?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Fuck's sake.
It's dog shit. But Leslie Nielsen's in that as the Uncle Ben character. And then Christopher McDonald is also going to be in Secret Invasion this year on Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Marvel show. He's going to be a TV anchor and just, I don't know, some sort of bad guy.
He's going to be a news anchor.
Yeah, going up against Sam Jackson. And then Julie Bowen, a lot of people may know her from Modern Family as Claire Dunphy. She's the mother.
Yeah.
And she appears in Hubie Halloween down the road. And then Carl Weathers. Matt, do you want to let the people know who Carl Weathers is?
Carl Weathers, absolute icon. Apollo Creed himself.
Yep. Apollo Creed in the Rocky in the Rocky franchise. He's no Ivan Drago from my favorite book of all time, Drago on Mountains We Stand. And then
Well, I've no Carl Weathers slander on this podcast. Oh, thank you.
Carl Weathers also appears in Predator as well, and then obviously Alan Covert pops up as Otto the tramp, and then Francis Bates' grandma.
Carl Weathers, half of the greatest handshake of all time.
Yeah.
In Predator.
The grandmother in this, she
Yeah.
died in like 2019 when she was like 90 odd.
She died in 2011
Oh, okay, close enough to 2019.
when she was 90 odd.
Yeah, but I thought she was getting on to 90 in this film.
Yeah, she doesn't look young in this movie.
She is so old in this film.
She gets like an extra. She's lived for like an extra 16 years as well, and she's 92. I would have put her on like definitely in the 80s in this.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, she's 75 in this?
Yeah, so she's like 75 in this movie.
Fucking hell. Right, let's move on to our very first famous segment called Curb That Blurb. So, Matt, what I've done is I have scoured the internet for a plot synopsis for this movie. I don't know where I've got it from because I didn't write that down. But what you've got to decide is whether we are going to curb that blurb. And by that, I mean take it outside, make it bite the pavement, and kick it in the back of the head if it's shit. If not, we'll let it walk freely. So Happy Gilmore is a rowdy boy. He was raised by his grandmother. He wants to be a hockey player, but isn't because one thing, he can't skate. When his grandmother's house is foreclosed because of a failure to pay her taxes and she's placed in a retirement home, Happy must try and find a way to make some money. One day, while at a driving range, he discovers that he can hit a golf ball 100 feet. So the range pro convinces him to try being a pro golfer. Reluctant at first because he considers himself a hockey player, but when he learns he can make a lot of money, he gives it a try, and surprisingly, in addition to his amazing driving ability, his antics must have made him the darling of the crowd. Shooter McGavin is the tournament leader, thinks Happy's an embarrassment, and is jealous that he's stealing his spotlight, tries to get him thrown out or get him to quit. All the pauses that I put in there were pauses that were written into this.
Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like I've aged listening to that. What they did, nah. That was more like they just started with the whole plot of the movie, like scene by scene, and then just decided, fuck it, we'll skip it. This is, nah, that's getting a come. So what is going on? I'm not having that.
Yeah, there's like 22 pauses in this fucking plot synopsis. This guy he hasn't written one sentence with like proper structure. Oh well, so yeah, what are we doing up with that blurb?
That's
Matt?
curb stomp. I'm taking that outside.
Curb stomp right in the back of the head. Right, and what we also do as well is we like to see what critics have said. So I've got the consensus from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, and the critics altogether have said those who enjoy Adam Sandler's shtick will find plenty to love with its gleefully juvenile take on professional golf. Those who don't, however, will find it unfunny and forgettable.
Nah, not having it. I feel like even if you don't like golf, there's
something
a lot to like. It's probably better if you don't like golf for this movie, actually.
Yeah. And I don't think it's forgettable because
it's definitely not forgettable.
It's such a quotable movie. And
yeah,
the people that show up, like even the cameo appearances, you're not going to forget.
You're not forgetting like a fucking fight with Bob Barker, are you? Like,
no, not at all. It's so. Do you disagree with what the critics have said about this?
I disagree with that one. Yeah, I don't think it's a forgettable movie.
No,
and I think you'd probably like it more if you didn't like golf.
Oh yeah, because
having golf in this is just a plot point. It's not exactly a fucking golf movie.
They could have changed golf to be any other sport.
Yeah.
Then I've got a couple of reviews as well from audience. So I've got 2 stars from Alejandra 3, and he said, "Before Julie Bowen was a MILF, but still hot." And I think she's better.
Interesting.
I think she's better looking in Modern Family.
Well, I just think she's a very attractive lady.
She is very attractive.
And I like her in both.
Modern Family's
She's
a good
fucking
show.
hilarious in Modern Family.
Yeah. Modern Family's a good show. I would really enjoy Modern Family. And then I've got one more from Pace and Power, who give this movie 5 stars. And he says, "Not as good as The Godfather, but better than Godfather Part 2. Which...
Ballsy. Dunno.
I
Definitely better than Part 3.
Yeah, I think this movie has the potential to be better than The Godfather in a lot of people's books.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'd probably put this above The Godfather. Godfather wouldn't be in my top 10.
No, it would be in my top 10 movies of all time, but neither would this probably be.
What, you wouldn't put Happy Gilmore in your top 10 movies of all time?
Probably not.
Oh, I think I would.
You think you would after just watching it, or you think you would?
No, after just watching it, I think it deserves a place in my top 10 movies of all time.
Okay.
God.
I'd have to go down and sit with it for the list, but I don't think it's one of the ones that put in my top 10.
See, I think I would. 100, yeah. And Matt, then Rotten Tomatoes scores, percentage-wise, what do you think the critics give this?
I actually have no idea. Purely because
it's Sandler. Critics love to shit on Sandler.
Yeah, exactly. Like this could have been like an Oscar-worthy movie in the mid-90s with Adam Sandler, and they still would have shot it. So. Probably something. I mean, they can't have shown it that bad because it's actually a good movie. Like 50-odd%.
So this is one of the only Sandler comedies that's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's sitting on a 61%. So
61.
If it was 60, it'd be rotten, but 61% makes it a fresh. And what do you think the audience give this percentage-wise? What percentage of the audience said this was a good movie?
It's at least like 80%. At least like 85.
85 exact. 85 exact. And then box office-wise, so the budget was $12 million. How do you think this did at the box office?
I'm pretty sure this is the one that did pretty well. Because I know there's one of them that like basically made him made him a decent amount of money, or at least kind of kickstarted that like film career where he's now the lead man.
Yeah.
What did you say the budget was? 12?
12 million budget, yeah.
I reckon they probably... Well, they at least... Yeah, no, definitely did well. So I'm saying like 30-odd million. They probably would have made like 20, 30 million, I guess.
$41.2 million at the box office.
Nice. That's a good return.
Yeah, almost like four times the budget. And for a comedy in the mid-90s, that's ridiculously good.
Dude, for gangbusters, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So, I think we've done quite well there with. Yeah, this is a good film.
All right, podcast over.
Yeah,
we've decided.
A question before moving on: would you say this is a movie, or would you say this is a film?
I'd say it's a movie.
Oh, I think this is a film. I think this needs to be preserved for future generations. There's a lovely story about family and.
But what if we don't have golf in the future?
It's part of history. We don't have dodgeball where we throw heads at people anymore.
Well, maybe we should do.
Yeah. Again, Dodgeball, the true underdog story. That's top 10 movie as well.
That might be a top 10 movie of all time. That is fucking class.
Dodgeball. Dodgeball.
Dodgeball is essentially this movie, just made 10 years later.
Yeah.
In a different sport.
And we actually share a couple of the same actors in this movie as well.
We do. We do.
So we'll get to that. So, Matt, are you ready to get into the plot?
I'm ready and willing.
So what I've done is I've gone to Wikipedia and decided that it was completely shit. So I've copied Wikipedia and basically written an essay about this movie. So bear with me and
Nah, you good.
Just stop me when you want. I haven't actually written about the opening credits, so should we talk about that first?
Yeah, so we've got the opening credits. There you go, and it's Billy he lives with his grandma.
Billy,
Jesus Christ! I was just looking at something online then, and it's just Billy Madison. Fuck it out. Yeah, Happy is obviously he's living life with his grandma, and then he's raising her up, and it's just basically him going through how it was like to be as a kid living with his grandma. She's always been there for him, and like how he's had like different jobs.
Yeah.
Never really settled into a job, never really found a boss that he liked. It's just like a little slow montage of him just doing stuff at the start, right?
Yeah, and just the voiceover that he gives and talk about his dad who passed away. And then in this opening credits we meet Mr. Larson, Billy's boss, who he shoots in the head with a nail gun. But as soon as that first note hit, and Adam Sandler just goes, "I'm Happy Gilmore, and I love hockey." just waves of nostalgia hit me straight away, and just hearing that music, it made me giddy, honestly. I don't understand why this movie has made me feel this way that I felt all week. It's just made me go on a Sandler bitch, like I told you earlier. I watched this at the start of the week, and I've just watched Sandler movie after Sandler movie.
Oh no, we've lost Kerry to a nostalgia trip. Oh, he's fucked it.
Honestly, it's just been so comforting this week, just watching this and just watching other Adam Sandler stuff. It's been kind of sad, but happy at the same time.
Oh.
So the plot of the movie.
Gary's just had an existential crisis on the podcast.
I reckon. I reckon in a couple of weeks, I'm going to come back on the podcast and I'm going to be like, "Yeah, I fully cried in this movie." As soon as we get to the wedding singer and 51st dates, I know I'm going to cry.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Right, let's get into
I'm glad I've got the video.
Let's get into the movie after the opening credits. So, Happy Gilmore is an unsuccessful ice hockey player who lacks skill. Other than fighting and a powerful slap shot, he has learned from his late father. After yet another failed tryout, Happy's girlfriend breaks up with him due to his lack of success as a player. So this is like the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. So
yeah, so we get they're at the hockey tryouts, and he's obviously missed it because he's shit at hockey. He's basically can only hit it. He can basically hit a puck through a wall, but that's the only thing he can do. They're all skating around, and he's doing tryouts for the local team that he's not made for a few years, and then obviously doesn't make it again this year, and then just decides to beat the shit out of that guy in the line.
Yeah, he kicks the shit.
It happens a lot in this movie.
Yeah. He kicks shit into the coach, and then everybody jumps in, and then he's just kicking the shit into everyone.
He's literally just booting people and just swinging haymakers and just scrapping everyone. It's great. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after he's failed the tryout, he goes back to his apartment, and as he's leaving, his girlfriend's leaving as well, and he's like, "Don't go, I've got Subway. I knew the guy behind the counter. He gave us extra meatballs." And then she's basically like, "Happy, you're a loser. I'm not coming back. You're dragging me down with you." And then after this, he tries to catch her on the intercom.
On the intercom.
So he's like, oh, please, baby, please don't leave. Come back up here and I'll give you that smoochy smooch. And then he starts singing a song. What does the song go like?
I can't remember what this song goes like, but it's fucking hilarious.
I had to listen to it earlier on, and I wanna kiss you all over and again. I wanna kiss you all over. That song. Dum dum dum. Till the night closes in.
Till the night closes.
But yeah, as he's basically having phone sex with the intercom, his girlfriend fucks off, and he's having.
Yeah, she just leaves.
Yeah, he's having phone sex with a kid, and then it cuts.
Might to clarify that.
Okay, there's a kid listening in, and then as he's singing, a Chinese delivery woman shows up as well, and then there's a knock at the door, and the door opens, and he thinks that his girlfriend has come back, but it's just this delivery lady.
It's just this little Chinese lady.
Yeah. And then the next morning, Happy learns that his grandmother, he gets a phone call from his grandmother, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll be right over." And then as he leaves, this woman, she's still there in his hockey jersey, and she's like, "Oh, do you not want any breakfast?" So Happy broke up with his girlfriend and then had sex with this delivery lady straight away.
Had sex with a 60-year-old Chinese lady.
Over and again. But yeah.
Best way to go over someone's get under someone else, eh?
Well, when I was a kid, I always mixed up that song and the song from Wedding Singer. The one that's "Somebody Kill Me, Please."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That's where my head was going when we just talked about the song. So yeah.
Jesus Christ. Those two very different songs.
Happy then goes to his grandmother's house, and Happy learns that his grandmother owes the IRS $275,000 in back taxes, and that she has 90 days to pay off the debt or house will face foreclosure. Happy sends his grandmother to live in a retirement home temporarily until he can pay for her house.
Yeah. So yeah, he arrives at the house, and they the guy's there, and he's basically said that she owes the IRS all this money, and he's like, she just didn't pay taxes for what, like 50 years or something.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're all what we get. The guy, who is it that plays the IRS agent? Is he someone? I'm sure I looked at that before.
Honestly, I have no idea who he is.
Robert Smigel.
Robert Smigel. What's Robert Smigel done?
What do you do when you're at home? He co-wrote the first two the Hotel Transylvania movies, and You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, and he's friends with Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, he's SNL. That's why.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah, SNL.
Oh, he's actually in Billy Madison.
Who's he in Billy Madison?
Mr. Oblasky. Don't know who that is.
No idea. And he comes back in Punch Drunk
Oh, he's
Love.
in fucking everything for the next, like... Jesus Christ. This guy's in, like, the next, like, 6 movies. All right.
So yeah, and he's like, Adam Sandler's like, "Hey, you can't do this to her. She's old. Look at her. She's an old woman. Why are you taking her stuff? Look at her. She's old."
But she's so old.
And then this IRS agent's like, "You hate me, don't you?" And then he gets flung out the window. out the door, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air style.
It gets thrown off the porch.
Yeah. But then I thought I wrote more about this.
Because this is where we get these, obviously, the two repo men. They're pulling everything outside. So we get like the main.
But before that, we go to the to the retirement home.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's just before. So Happy takes his grandmother to the retirement home, and as we're driving into the retirement home, we get the Mr. Lady jumping on the car, who appears at the end of all our episodes, and she's just like, "Get me out of here!" But Happy's like, "Oh yeah, this looks like a nice place. Just somewhere for you to be for a couple of weeks." And then we go to the grandmother's room, and we're introduced to the warden, Kal-El. What's Superman's name? Superman's Kal-El.
Superman's name is Kal-El, but he is. I think I read it's Hal-El.
Yeah, Hal-El.
But no one ever says his name.
No. We're introduced to Hal-El, who's like the carer there, and he is played by Ben Stiller. Just
a great incredible Ben Stiller cameo in this.
Yeah.
He's hilarious as this guy. Just this horrible little Nazi-like minder of all these old people.
Yeah. And then
just making them work like in a little sweatshop downstairs, stitching stuff together and selling it on.
And Happy's like, he tries to bribe Ben Stiller. He's like, "Oh, take this and look after my grandmother, will you?" He bribes you with $1 bill. It was a $1 bill, and then Happy leaves, and then Grandma, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Could you possibly trouble me to a glass of warm milk? It helps me go to sleep." And then Hal-El's like, "I can trouble you to a warm glass of shut the hell up. Look at the badge, Grandma. You're in my world. You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's just this horrible, abusive.
He's so mean in this. He's so mean. I love it. It's so funny.
He's probably one of the funniest parts of the whole movie.
Oh, I'd say it's definitely a standout part of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And yeah, he pops up throughout the movie as well, which is always kind of nice.
Yeah, we do just get the random cameos every time.
Yeah.
We get Adam Sandler at the little home.
And then back at the grandmother's house, two movers are repossessing Happy's grandmother's furniture. They challenge him to a long drive contest using his grandfather's old clubs. With an unorthodox slap-shot style swing, Happy hits a ball some 400 yards, winning $40 from the movers.
Yeah, so what is it? He's annoyed that they're all being like lazy and not like basically doing anything that has stood outside of the house, fucking around.
Yeah,
and he's wants them to get all the stuff out.
He wants to watch hockey.
Yeah,
like can you hurry up here so I can go and watch the hockey?
Yeah, so what, they make a bet to see who can hit the ball the farthest.
Yes. So the first guy, the first mover is do you know Will Sasso?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first mover is played by Will Sasso. He was big on Vine, where he used to shoot lemons out of his mouth. And have you seen
is
that?
That why he's famous?
No, he's done other stuff. I know he's in the Three Stooges.
I mean, I know Will Sasso, he's a comedian, right? But
yeah,
didn't know he's famous for shooting fucking lemons out of his mouth.
Yeah, I'm sure that was Will Sasso, but I know him from. He was on a Screen Junkies video on his trailers years ago for Toy Story, and at the end he was Randy Newman, so the guy who sings "You've Got a Friend in Me." But he was playing Randy Newman as if he had Down syndrome.
What?
Yeah, it's some video.
Jesus Christ, that can't be fuck me sideways.
It was like 12 years ago, 10 years ago, so different times.
Makes sense.
Different times. But yeah,
I
He
know
hit-
Will Sasso. I'm just looking here. He's the he's like the bouncer and like just the huge guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets into a fight with Barney and
Ted.
Ted.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. No, I just.
and he's
realise that was
also
him.
one of the new Three Stooges.
I can see him as a stooge.
Yeah, he's
That makes sense.
Curly, the bald one. But yeah,
Makes more sense.
Will Sasso, he can't hit the ball for shit. Hits it like 20 yards. Sandler laughs at him, and then they're like, "Oh, you try hit it further." So he smacks it 400 yards, smashes the window. They're like, "Oh, beginner's luck. Bet you $20 you can't do it again." Smacks it 400 yards, knocks a guy out.
Just points this guy out in his bed in his room.
And then they're like double quits, hits it 400 yards, smacks a girl on the second story of the building, and she just falls out onto the roof and then presumably breaks something.
I love the first like little cut shot there as he hits the ball and like it cuts to the ball in flight, but the little like flight clip is just so long. It just keeps going and going and going.
I love the ball flight shots in this movie.
It's so fucking funny.
I don't know how they did it. It blows me away. And then so Happy wins the $40 from the movers, and then as a result, he realizes, oh, maybe I can make some money from this and help my grandmother out. So he goes to the local driving range to hustle some more golfers, basically doing this same thing, $20, bet you can't outdrive me. And then people are doing the same. And then here he meets PGA professional Chubbs Peterson, and he is a former golf star who lost his hand in an alligator attack. Chubbs urges Happy to enter the local tournament, where the winner will earn an automatic spot on the professional golf tour. Desperate to take back his grandmother's house, Happy accepts after Chubbs informs him of the significant prize money involved. So
so we get him. He's at the driving range. Happy's nailing all these balls down the range, and we get Chubbs, who's very, very bored, giving golf lessons to just fat old people who have nothing better to do. And obviously there's quite a crowd.
Great shot. Oh, well done you. Oh, go on, go for it. And then somebody suggests that Happy enters the Woodbury Open the next day, and it just piques Chubb's interest, doesn't it?
Yeah, so he's like, "Oh, I'm a hockey player, not a golf player. Like, I ain't fucking going to play no golf open."
So, after driving, Sandler just jumps into the baseball cage to toughen himself up for hockey next year. It just
so fucking funny.
Just takes a couple of baseballs to the chest and to the head, and
what's it? The kid's playing on like 70 miles an hour or something, and he like pulls him out and turns it all the way up and just stands there getting fucking railed by these balls.
And then when Chubbs and Happy are having their conversation, the kid decides to jump in as well and takes a ball to the chest and just eats shit straight away and goes down.
Just disappears off camera.
Chubbs has talked about his history as a golfer, and he's like, he mentions the gold jacket, and he's like, do what I can do, win the gold jacket. They kicked me off the tour, and then Santa's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because you're black?" And he's like, "No, damn alligator took my hand." And then we learn about the alligator down in Florida biting off Chubbs' hand.
Yes.
And then I never realized as a kid, but did you notice how far that hand comes out of the sleeve?
Oh, it's like that hand is haunting. That wooden hand is just the worst thing. It's so good.
It's such a
it's so ridiculous. Like you say, like his arm is an extra like foot long, like an extra like 2 feet long.
Yeah, you can tell that he's got his actual hand inside the sleeve and he's just holding on.
It's not even like it's taped on, it's just holding this wooden thing.
Yeah. And then as Chubbs is talking to Happy about entering the tournament, he decides to practice his hockey shots and he smacks Chubbs' hand like 50 feet away. And then Chubbs is like, don't worry, it's strong. It's made out of good wood. And next thing you know, a lorry just drives over it.
Just obliterates this wooden fake hand.
But yeah, Chubbs is like, oh, you'll get paid, blah blah blah. And then Happy decides to enter the next day at the Woodbury Open. So at the Woodbury Open, we meet Shooter McGavin, arrogant pro who thinks he's God's gift to golf, Doug, the chairman of the board, and Virginia Vennett, head of public relations on the Pro Tour. So Shooter McGavin is Christopher McDonald's character. He's just a very cocky, very arrogant, very stuck-up golfer type who
classic, just
very much
wanker.
Exists in the real world.
Yeah.
Just meet Virginia Vennett, who is Julie Bowen, and she's like head of PR and just trying to get people involved with golf as much as possible.
Yeah, she's like does all the I guess all the press and
media coverage and stuff like that. And then Doug, who's just the boss of the whole thing, who's the director of this movie.
Oh yeah.
And then at the start of this tournament, Happy is struggling with the world of golf, not understanding what the caddy is, the proper etiquette of golf, or how to behave on the golf course.
That's so funny, where his caddy just fucking picks up his clubs and he just jumps on him and beats the shit out of him.
The push. That kid hits the floor like a sack of shit.
That kid's so skinny as well, and he fucking creams him.
Well, he has to be 15 at most. Sandler just pushes him full pelt.
He's like probably 40 kilos, like 7 stone, piss wet through. He just gets fucking launched.
Yeah. And then after this, Happy's just like, God, look out for me out there. Just make sure I don't do anything stupid. And after he says this, like straight away, he's just standing in front of the guy who's about to tee off. And then they're like, Mr. Gilmore, this guy's about to tee off. Please move. And then he goes up to the caddy and is like, oh, nice one helping me out there, dipshit.
He's like, where were you on that one, dipshit?
So Happy Gilmore's really struggling. So he's struggling with his play, but Chubbs reminds him that it's all in the hips whilst driving and to send the ball home whilst putting. So we get the classic scene of Chubbs going up behind Sandler, grabbing him and doing, it's all in the hips, all in the hips. Sandler broke character. Happy Gilmore broke character here, 100%.
Oh yeah, because he laughed.
He laughed.
Get off of me!
Like that was 100% break of character.
Oh, no doubt. Like 100%. That's why. But I'm glad they left that in because it just makes it fucking so much funnier. Because that's like a genuine reaction as well. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? He's just grinding on him from behind in front of all these people.
It's all in the hips and just send the ball home. Again, 2 very quotable parts of this movie and things that people would know.
Ball.
Yeah.
Get in your home. Why won't you just go home?
Are you too good for your home ball? But yeah, he's really struggling. And then his first hole, he takes like 4 shots to get it on the green. He takes like 4 putts to get it in. And
so he's obviously like, he's really good at driving the ball because he can hit it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, But then once it's on the green, there's no finesse.
No, not at all. And there's these two crowd members, and they're just saying stuff. And then when he gets it in, a guy goes, "Oh yeah, finally he gets it in." And then Happy Gilmore just goes up to him, like, "Oh yeah, finally I got it in," and then just pulls up his shirt over his head, pulls it off, and then just knocks him in the.
That's why the first half of this is like he assaults like 8 people. He just starts beating the shit out of randomly.
Yeah,
No, it's Kevin Nealon.
What?
One of the guy. I'm pretty sure it's either the guy who punches or the one next to him.
No. Kevin Nealon pops up later on as the guy that Happy.
Is Kevin Nealon not the guy who's like, "Oh, you should try out for the the tournament"?
No, I think that's a completely different guy. Kevin Nealon comes up. I know it's Kevin Nealon because his name is ridiculous.
Why? What's his name?
His name is Gary Potter.
What? His name's Gary Potter. Oh, fucking hell. This is in 95 as well, so that's funny.
Yeah.
Gary Potter.
So Happy assaults a crowd member after the snide comments regarding Happy's putt-in. Throughout the tournament, Happy's play improves and he scores a hole-in-one. Happy's yet again struggling to putt on the last hole, but Chubbs reminds him to just tap it in. Tap it in. Tap it in. Tap, 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 tap-a-roo.
Oh, so this isn't the professional tournament, right? That's what I'm getting mixed up at. This is just a local one, yeah.
This is the local one for Happy to get on the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
So on the last hole, after the whole tap it in thing, again, very quotable part of the movie, Happy wins the tournament and Virginia Venet introduces herself to Happy to congratulate him on winning. They discuss the prize for the tournament in the future and they are excited to see each other again. Chubbs wants Happy to practice more before going on the Pro Tour, but Happy refuses because he needs the money for his grandmother's house. So
yeah,
very straightforward. He's on the Pro Tour. Chubbs wants to take him away to practice for a bit more, but he's like, "Nah, I'm going alone." And then we don't really see Chubbs then until.
Yeah, we don't get him until later on in the movie.
No, he was in this a lot less than what I remember.
Yeah, because there's a big gap, like not massive, but there's a decent sized chunk where he's not in it for a bit.
No, like it's surprisingly big. Then after this, Happy goes to visit his grandmother, who is currently in an extended period of arts and crafts because Hal-El has set up a sweatshop where he gets the residents of the nursing home to create quilts.
So what I mean, he's on the phone as well, and he's like negotiating his little prices. Like, go fuck me on this, Randy.
Yeah, I was like, I said $250 a quilt. Don't try to fuck me on this. And then this woman goes up to him and he's like, my hands are bleeding. My hands hurt. I was like, "Oh, your hands hurt? Well, congrats. You're on landscaping duty." And just makes her go do hard labor outside.
He's such a little bastard, but he's so funny in this role, Ben Stiller. He's so like his little mustache and his wry little face.
Yeah, he's such a funny character. But he's so funny in it.
He's so good.
Happy takes his grandmother back to her room, and Hal-El is spying on them to make sure that she doesn't let Happy know how awful the place is. So back in her room, Happy's grandmother's like looking out the window, and Hal-El is just over the other side of like the courtyard, looking through and just doing like, "I'm keeping my eyes on you," kind of thing, and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And then Happy's grandmother complains that the air conditioning unit isn't working, so he tries to fix it. So he taps it, and then it just falls out the window and lands on the Mr. Lady.
He just drops the AC fucking 3 floors.
Mister. Yeah.
So that'd fuck you up.
Oh, big time. But yeah. Next thing we know, Happy attends the mixer for the golf tournament. Here, Happy meets the arrogant pro, Shootin' McGavin, who disapproves of Happy's lack of golf etiquette. As a prank, Shoot invites Happy to the 9th green at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, the sprinkler goes off and Soap's happy.
Yeah, so they give him the old go to the 9th at 9. It's where all the pros go for a little like a little party, a little soiree later on.
A little rendezvous.
So he gets all dressed up in his nice little blazer and his little suit, and then
sprinklers
he gets sprinkled.
But at this mixer, not much really happens. Everybody's everybody's in the gold jackets, and we learn that Shooter wants to win the gold jacket, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get it. What, in 3 weeks' time?" Kind of thing, because he's the only pro there that hasn't got his gold jacket. And then after Happy gets soaked, Happy runs into Virginia, and she tells Happy how worried Shooter is that there's a new guy on the tour and who has the potential to steal Shooter's thunder.
I hope so.
Yeah. That's what happens next.
Yeah, because then what happens after that? She sees him on the way back from getting piss wet through. Yeah,
and then she's like, "Yeah, don't worry about Shooter. He's just worried that you're gonna upstage him."
Yeah,
and then we're at the AT&T Invitational Tournament, and the first person we meet here is Otto, played by Alan Covert. He's there. He's there. He's a tramp.
My good friend Alan Covert is back.
Every movie so far, pretty much, apart from Mixed Nuts. I didn't realize. Like, I know he pops up in these movies, but he's a producer on them all.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah.
Gets a producing credit just for doing fuck all.
Like, he actually works in the Happy Madison offices daily as like a big time producer. He's not just Sandler's mate who Sandler calls in for. Like,
do you want to come and do a cameo on holiday for 3 weeks? Yeah, sweet, let's go.
Like, he does a lot behind the scenes as well. But yeah, Otto is cleaning windshields for extra cash, and then he later becomes Happy's caddy because the tournament hasn't provided him with one. Happy's introduced to Gary Potter, played by Kevin Nealon, who gives him some advice about playing golf. He talks about Happy's positive aura and says Happy needs to harness the good energy and block out the bad. And he's like, it's a carousel. You've just got to take in the light and block out. You're going up and down, up and down.
Just some crackhead hippie bullshit. It's like, what are you on about?
And then Happy thinks Gary is a psychopath because after this whole thing, Happy just goes, that guy's a psycho.
That guy's a fucking psychopath.
And again, though Happy has a powerful drive, his putting is terrible, and his bad behavior draws the attention of Commissioner Doug Thompson. So first of all, Happy, he's failing the putt, and he just loses his shit and starts swearing. And Doug is watching this on TV from the office, and he's like, "Who is this guy? Get Virginia in here. I need to talk about this Happy Gilmore." Happy's continuing to play well until he's struggling to putt once more. Gary tells Happy that the ball belongs in the hole. It's home. Happy loses his temper with the ball and starts asking why it doesn't want to go home. Happy eventually loses his cool so much he throws the flag at the TV cameraman. So this scene is the classic shot from this movie, Sandler on the floor screaming at a golf ball.
Yeah, because it's like even on the DVD cover, this is like the DVD cover.
Yeah,
picture of
I think this is probably the shot from the movie that we're going to use on this cover.
Yeah,
like it's probably the most iconic shot from the from the movie.
Just him screaming at that ball on the floor. Why'd you go home, ball? You too good. Are you too good for your home?
And then he just fucking pole vaults the flag at this cameraman, and he just falls falls off the tower. And then Thompson's trying to kick Happy off the tower, but Bennett convinces him to keep him because the viewership is the television ratings are extremely high. Attendance to golf tournaments are selling out. because of this guy, and attendance is up, and there's a bunch of new sponsorship offers coming in, which is like, listen, I'll deal with him. I'll make sure he doesn't lose his cool again, and I'll make sure that he's well behaved from now on.
Yeah. No, yeah. So basically, he's just causing all kinds of shit, but then she explains to the guy who's in charge, look, he's causing all this ruckus, but we're making so much money that it basically doesn't matter.
We need to keep him.
Yeah. Which is fair enough. Like, happens a lot.
Yeah. Like, think about all the madmen in sport. Happy's come dead last in this tournament and goes to celebrate by having a beer. In the bar, Happy runs into Shooter, and he isn't pleased that Happy is taking all the limelight. They both get into a confrontation, and Happy promises he's going to kick Shooter's ass and win the tournament. Happy threatens Shooter with a glass bottle he has just smashed over the bar, and Virginia Venet has to break things up. Shooter says Happy is going to pay. Happy says he's going to eat some hay, he can make things out of clay, and that he may lay by the bay.
This is one of my favorite scenes, just because when they're in the bar and he just says like one thing to him, and it's not even like a real argument, and he just gets the bottle and just immediately attempts to just slash him open. Like there's almost no exclamation there. They're having a slight argument, and he just goes to kill him.
Shooter says to Happy, "Don't turn your back on me." And then Sandler just smashes this bottle and just goes to shank him straight away. Oh.
There's no hesitation either. It's just like, nah, fuck this guy.
Straight away. But then, yeah, the whole scene just ends with Sandler doing a little rhyme, which is
just trying to piss him off and just
ridiculously funny. And then Virginia tells Happy here that he needs to improve his performance and behavior, or he's going to get kicked off the tournament. Next tournament, straight away, during the 77th annual Cleveland Classic, Happy has drawn a large fan base. One of his supporters is his previous boss, Mr. Larson, who we met in the opening credits, who Happy had previously shot in the head with a nail gun. Happy is tired of how quiet golf is as a sport, and he encourages his fans to cheer and celebrate along with him as he's playing. So Happy he's just encouraging this crowd to be as loud as possible, to enjoy as much as possible, to drink as much as possible, and then this eventually leads to everybody else getting super pissed off with him.
Because he's used to the hockey
crowd
scenario where you're in like a stadium, everyone's chanting, going crazy and drinking and having a great time.
Yeah.
And he's come to golf where it's
dead
the
quiet.
complete opposite of that.
Yeah. Mr. Larson intimidates Shooter as he's about to tee off, and then he just bends his 9-iron in half.
He gives him some shit, and then
he
grabs
goes,
his golf club and snaps it like a toothpick.
He's like, Shooter, Happy Gilmore was here earlier and he hit the green, and then Shooter turns around like, I don't give a damn what Happy and he just looks up at Mr. Larson. It's like a 7'8" giant.
He's massive. He's not a small bloke.
Yeah, well, he was Jaws in James Bond, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's
he's
the actor that played Jaws. Yeah,
he's a big guy, and then Shooter just kind of backs off and chickens out. So Mr. Larson just pulls out one of Shooter's clubs and just bends the whole thing completely in half. Happy's introduced a variety of new supporters to the game of golf. These people love to party, love to drink. The antics of these supporters annoy the other pros, such as Shooter, like we've said. Then the next scene is Happy and Otto. They're on the green, and Happy's like, "Oh, that looks like a pretty straight putt to me." And then Otto's like, "Nah, I think it veers off to the left." And Happy's like, "Oh, that's because you're only wearing one shoe."
See, they're like my favorite Adam Sandler jokes, where it's just like something so simple, but it's just so unexpected and it's just fucking gold.
Just the shot of Alan Covert's feet, 1 foot in his shoe, the
Yeah.
other's not. It was
the camera just pans down.
And then after this, Happy's signing a bunch of autographs, and he's signing this woman's chest. And then next thing you know, a grandma who's having Shooter's autograph goes up to Happy as well, rips open her top to get her breasts signed as well. In this tournament, the 77th annual Cleveland Classic, Happy's come 45th due to missing a putt, but he does refrain from freaking out and throwing his putter. So on the 18th, he misses his putt. Doug's watching it on the TV. Happy goes to throw it, but then he's like, oh, wait, I'm going to calm down, or I got to go.
Yeah, so he just decides not to do it and then just puts the ball away, and then, yeah. He's learning how to go.
Straight away on to the next tournament. During the Visa Everglades tournament, Happy takes a shot and his ball is swallowed by an alligator. The same alligator who bit off Chubb's hands many years ago. Once Happy realizes this is the same alligator, he rushes after it and kills it.
This is so funny. He goes over and he goes to get the ball out of the water, and the alligator just opens its mouth and it's like, come on. And it's just rested in its mouth, like, come get it, come on. And then he sees, obviously, like, yeah, the alligator's only got one hand left. Oh, sorry, only got one eye left.
Yeah.
And yeah, he notices that obviously it's on a golf course. It's probably going to be the same one. And then he just fucking goes in and like body slams this alligator and puts it in a headlock. And he's just ragdolling it around this land.
I don't think we mentioned earlier, but Chubbs, after he got his hand bit off, ripped out the alligator's eye and just keeps it in a jar in his pocket.
Oh, yeah, we did. Chubbs in his little formaldehyde eye.
Yeah, he goes full Crocodile Dundee here and just...
Yeah, he just gets in and just picks it up and smashes it around.
Kicks the shit into this alligator. Happy comes 21st in this tournament and slowly becomes a better golfer. Shooter's unhappy with Happy's involvement with the tournament and believes Happy is ruining the sport and requests that Doug kicks him off the tournament. Doug disagrees and Shooter decides to take things into his own hands. So yeah, Shooter wants to get rid of Happy because he's jealous pretty much.
Yeah, I think one of my favourite things in this scene, Jesus, keep seeing this for like every scene now, but you know, good movie, is when he's getting paid and he comes like either last or like second last, and everyone that comes first obviously is getting those massive checks, and he's like, now I want to get paid now. And he's like, well, I don't have anything to pay you now. Just give me one of those giant checks. And so there's just a little montage, and he's just got like 50 of those like 4-foot checks just in the back of his car.
This iPad of mine's about to die.
Oh Jesus!
Don't worry, I'll say I've got it up to you anyway. So Happy rings his grandmother and tells her that he almost has all the money needed to pay off the debt. Happy then runs into Virginia and asks her out on a date after she asks him about snapping a rake. She agrees, but only as friends. So they run to each other, and Happy's like, "Oh, I've been well behaved," and she's like, "What about that rake you snapped on the 50th hole and threw into the woods?" And he's like, "Oh, that rake had it coming," or whatever he says.
Is there? It might not be this. Is there something he's like? Well, the rake was made of wood, so I was just putting it back in the woods where it's from.
That's the line that he says. But yeah, then he asks her out on a date, and she's like, "Yeah, okay, but just as friends." So he takes her to his favorite place, the ice rink. The lights dim, and endless love starts playing. Virginia and Happy skate together and talk about their memories regarding the song. Happy remembers having a crush on Brooke Shields and sending her a letter, but receiving one back in his grandmother's handwriting.
Oh.
Happy then tells Virginia about the whole situation with his grandmother's house and about the money that he needs to raise to get it back. And then he places a bet with Virginia for a kiss, saying that if she scores, Happy will leave her alone. But if she misses, she has to give him a kiss. So she takes the slap shot and she scores, but despite scoring, Virginia still wants to kiss Happy, and they share their first kiss with the Zamboni driver watching and singing along to Endless Love.
Is it? There's that. Oh, fuck. I'm sure I read somewhere that the Zamboni driver was someone, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
But
this is a great scene.
It's so funny. Yeah.
No, fuck knows. I don't think I can find it.
But the way that the shot of the Zamboni driver singing and his head is like turned on half of the screen, and then
just with the light coming down.
Yeah, it's like a proper music video, and I laughed so much at this. I thought it was so funny.
It's a great scene.
And then, but yeah, they share their first kiss, and
they do,
and they're falling for each other. Next tournament is the Pepsi Pro AM event. Happy is paired with a celebrity partner, Bob Barker. Happy plays poorly because Shooter hires a heckler, Donald, to antagonize him and call him a jackass.
This guy's so funny in this movie.
Yeah.
I loved this. Just when I was a kid, you just get him just random points. Just, you jackass!
Jackass!
Screaming at him.
But yeah, this heckler, every single time Happy goes to take a shot, he just calls Happy a jackass, and then he scuffs it, and it's in the woods. It's down on the beach, and the more Happy messes up, the more Barker gets frustrated with playing with him, and then
this is so funny though.
Yeah, and then
it's so good. He's just absolutely just demoralizing him, and Bob Barker's just like, "Hey, I won this thing last year."
Yeah, and then Bob Barker and Happy Gilmore get into a fist fight.
Just
like a 5-minute long.
I don't know how this happens, but it's just so fucking funny.
It's do you know who? So Dennis Dugan was like, "Oh, Bob, we think we need a stuntman in to do this," and Bob Barker was like, "The only way I'm going to do this movie is if I can actually fight Adam Sandler." Because Bob Barker's like a black belt in some sort of martial art, and he was trained by Chuck Norris.
What? What have you just told me?
Yeah.
There's no way this is real.
I'm sure it's real. But yeah, they get into like a 5-minute long fist fight. Bob goes down, he gets back up. Happy goes down, he gets back up. Bob goes down again. They're tumbling down the hill, just body shots, headshots, everything. And then eventually Bob Barker wins the fight.
Bob Barker just cracks him.
And what does Bob Barker finish with? It's like, the price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah. The price is wrong. No, isn't that's Adam Sandler's line? And he because he kicks him down the hill, and he fucking thinks he's dead, and he's like, the price is wrong, bitch.
What does Barker finish with? He finishes with something.
He does say something.
Does say the price is right, bitch, whatever.
It's got to be something to do with the price is right, surely.
Yeah. Because of this fight, Happy is fined $25,000 and given a 1-month suspension from the tour, jeopardizing his chance to save his grandmother's house until Virginia secures him an endorsement deal with Subway.
Good old Subway.
So second time for Subway to pop up in these movies after Coneheads.
True, yeah.
So yeah, Sandler gets an endorsement deal with Subway, and then he can pay off. He can get the house back. Did you want to mention the ad?
What? This is where he hits the Subway, and when it lands in someone's mouth, it just fucking nails it, and it goes down the road. And is it anyone, or is it just a random?
I think it's just a random. but this footlong just lands in this guy's mouth.
Just perfectly.
Yeah. So then Sandler, we're watching the trailer. We're watching the advert in the nursing home with Sandler's grandmother. And it's like, oh, come on, we can go get the house. But as they arrive to the house is put up for auction, where Shooter spitefully outbids Happy.
Yeah, so he's just trying to fuck him off and
Yeah,
just like
big time.
just get in his head.
So Sandler says 275,000, and then Shooter's like 350, and Sandler has not got the money. Happy hasn't got the money to pay that at all. So Shooter offers the house to Happy on the condition that he agrees to quit golf. Happily initially accepts, but Virginia talks him out of it, telling him that his grandmother would rather see Happy be successful.
Yeah, so he just wants to basically, he's only doing this to get his house back for his grandma, and he basically sees it that he's done that now, so
he can quit golf, but
yeah, he's basically done what he set out to.
But Virginia's like, listen, keep on playing golf. We'll get the money some other way. Your grandmother wants to see you succeed doing this. So Happy strikes a deal with Shooter for the upcoming tour championship. If Happy wins, Shooter will return the house. But if Shooter wins, Happy will quit golf forever.
Yeah.
And this is where we get Shooter saying, I'm going to win because I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And then Happy goes, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast? And then Shooter's like, no.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? Such a good line. Oh, God.
So yeah, this is probably the line that most people know from the movie.
I'd say it's a very, very well-known line from the movie.
I'd wear that on a t-shirt. 100%.
Probably. That's a good t-shirt.
That's a very good t-shirt. So after they agree to this deal, Happy seeks out Chubbs, who helps him improve his short game by practicing at a mini golf course. Happy is still struggling with his short game and eventually loses his temper with an animatronic clown who keeps laughing at him for failing to sink a putt.
Yeah. Oh fuck! This is so good.
Yeah. So we're at the mini golf course. Trying out
so
different couple of holes, and then we get to the final hole, and there's just an extended scene of Happy trying to get this ball up the clown's tongue into the mouth. But as soon as it gets into the mouth, the clown just spits it back out of him and just laughs.
Yeah, so we get a few different holes in this, and then he goes to the clown and he just can't make the clown thing. So they go to a different one. Or is it we end
with a clown.
Because we definitely end with the clown.
We end with the clown, but there's a bunch of different holes before. There's one point where you're like, I think they're like candy canes or something, and he smacks those because he can't sink the putt there. But it's on the clown where he loses his cool properly. Yeah,
the clown spits the ball back at him, and he just absolutely goes to town at it with his golf.
Yeah, but he gets it in the mouth like 3 times.
Why is he like, who's laughing now, clown?
Yeah, the clowns are like, and then Sandler just takes this clown's nose off completely, just for a baseball swing, and then he's like, "Yeah, who's laughing now, clown?"
It's so fucking good.
When I worked in a miniature golf course, we had this fucking.
Of course, you worked at a miniature golf course.
We had this. We had the clown hole exactly the same in New Zealand, and that was fucking horrible.
Oh god!
Trying to get it up that clown's tongue. Yeah. So
I'll leave that alone.
At this point, Chubbs tells Happy he needs to find his happy place to help him concentrate. So in his happy place, we see Virginia in her underwear serving beer, his grandmother hitting big on the slots, and dwarves dressed up as cowboys. So we go into this little dream sequence.
We get a little happy place with an absolute classic in Tuesday's Gone by Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yep. and then go into his happy place. This helps Happy successfully sink the putt. And then, as a thanks for his coaching, Happy presents Chubbs with the head of the alligator that bit off his hand. But a startled Chubbs falls out a window to his death.
This is so good. He's just in the room and he's got a little blanket, like the little basket, and he's like, "Hey, Chubbs, I got something for you." He's like, "You know that alligator? You know, you got his eye? Well, I got his head." He just pulls it out. And he shits himself and just falls completely through the window.
Falls backwards out the window and just cocks it straight away, just straight to his death. Now determined to win the tour championship for both Chubbs and his grandmother, Happy and Shooter pair together during the tournament and are constantly trying to one-up each other in both golf and sass. So yeah, we get a little montage of them playing like the first 9 or 10 holes, and they're just going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, so they obviously get the start and what they're trying to rile each other up. He says, like, I'm gonna play this game dedicated to Chubbs, and he's like, no, I'm gonna play this game dedicated to Chubbs. But yeah, no, they're just going back and forth and having the real close golf.
Yeah. So
contest, I guess.
This tournament, it's a 3-day thing. So after the first day, Shooter's winning by a single point. During the second day and the second and third day of the tournament, both are still at it, trying to beat each other. At the end of the day, Shooter has fallen to second place, and Happy is now in the lead. Desperate to win the tour championship, which has never been done before, Shooter once again calls on Donald, who's the heckler from earlier.
Yeah.
On the final day, Happy seems unstoppable until Donald drives his car onto the course and hits Happy, and then crashes into the TV tower.
Yeah, he just drives on and runs him down in the middle of the fairway.
Yep. Because Happy's just been run over by a car, he sustains a shoulder injury, and this robs him of his long drive ability and his focus. Okay.
So yeah, we get Happy. He's
trying
going
to play
well all movie. Now we get some controversy. We get some hills to overcome.
Yeah, he's taking the shots and he's in agony. This agony causes Shooter to eventually take the lead, and Happy tries to go back to his happy place to help him concentrate on the game once more. The happy place seems normal at first with Virginia in her underwear serving beer, but quickly takes a turn as Shooter shows up and starts making out with her and Happy's grandmother, who turns into Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yeah, so we get the new happy place and everything's just in black.
Yeah, and then Shooter turns up in his T-Birds jacket.
Yeah,
and then,
T-Birds jacket.
And then, he was in Christopher McDonald was in Grease 2 as his T-Bird.
I was gonna say, you're not about to try and blag me that Christopher McDonald was in Grease. I'm fucking not having this.
He was in Grease 2 with I don't know who's in Grease 2.
There's a Grease 2?
Yeah.
Is it a sequel? Is it a remake?
It's a sequel. Direct sequel.
Sequel to what?
Grease.
Yeah, but like
it's
like that movie had a fucking plot line, didn't it?
It's a new cast of high schoolers. I think the only returning character is Frenchie, and I think it might be Michelle Pfeiffer.
It is. Michelle Pfeiffer's in this movie. What the fuck?
Does it say
Chris Caulfield?
Does it say Christopher McDonald?
Can't see him.
Oh,
doesn't see him in the cast.
I'm sure he is.
I'm not. He's not coming up here.
Oh. Why do I think?
Why do you think he's in Grease 2?
Christopher McDonald, Grease 2. Yeah. He is.
Oh, he's one of the T-Birds.
Yeah.
From Grease too. All right, so he's not on the cast list up the top.
But he is one of the T-Birds.
Yeah.
So he rocks up in his T-Bird jacket and sticks his tongue down Happy's grandmother's throat.
That's a good little reference. That's hilarious.
This trip to the Happy place causes Happy to completely lose his cool and messes up the rest of his game. After a surprise visit from his grandmother, who tells him that the house is not important to her and she just wants to see Happy be happy, Happy visits his Happy place once more, and everything is back to normal, except this time Chubbs is present with both hands playing the piano and singing "We've Only Just Begun."
Another good scene.
Yeah, it's like, Happy, look, both hands.
Got my hands back.
After this, Happy and Shooter continue their game. Happy starts to play well, and Shooter gets more and more annoyed. Shooter's unhappy with the crowd and their antics. On the 18th hole, Happy takes first shot, and it lands just short of the hole. Shooter takes his shot, and it goes into the woods and lands on the foot of Mr. Larson. The rules of golf state you have to play where the ball lies, and Shooter has to play from Mr. Larson's shoe.
Yeah, so he's just basically got to play one of his last shots off this guy's foot.
Yeah. And this guy hates
his
him.
Giant foot.
A television tower damaged earlier on by Donald falls over and blocks the green. As stated earlier, you have to play play as the ball lies. Virginia suggests that Happy plays around the tower and takes the game to sudden death. Happy decides against this and uses the memory of Chubbs to help him miraculously use the fallen tower as a Rube Goldberg machine to sink his putt for the win and the gold jacket.
Yeah, so we get the scene before when they're at the mini golf and they
Yeah.
play in one of the holes and it's like the earthquake scene and everything like comes crashing down and you basically have to like rigmarole your way through this, like you were saying with the Rube Goldberg machine. And yeah, so when they're obviously at the golf tournament and there's a lot of fans, they're obviously all trying to watch, and then they all climb on the TV tower and it collapses.
Yeah.
Oh no, or
Yeah, so the car goes into it and then a fan tries to climb up.
sorry, yeah, the car.
And then,
yeah, they're all trying to climb up, and then the fucking car crashes into it and collapses the tower.
yeah. And then Happy uses this structure to help him. So you just see the ball go in and let it eyes, and then you just come back to the crowd following it. Classic.
Just all them little noises going on, like ding dong, ding.
Yeah, all that, and then the crowd just in awe, and then he sinks the shot, wins the tournament, and wins the gold jacket. Shooter tries to steal the winner's gold jacket, but is assaulted by a mob of fans led by Happy's imposing Xbox boss, Mr. Larson. So we get this.
Like he's chasing him down, like everyone's chasing him down the fair. He's like, "Hey, Mr. McGavin, I believe your jacket belongs to Happy Gilmore."
And then after this, to finish the movie, Happy takes back his grandmother's house, sees the vision of a two-handed Chubbs with Abraham Lincoln and the alligator in heaven, and he celebrates with his grandmother Virginia and his caddy Otto.
Yeah, this was confusing, but I'm just hilarious. Like I don't know the fucking thing.
Yeah, so they go back to the house, and Happy's just glad that he can see.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't understand why Abraham Lincoln's there in the thing.
Because he's a true American hero.
That is true.
That man abolished slavery, man.
That man did abolish slavery.
And then
Also
got
had a
shot.
big hat.
And got shot in a theater. And then
Shot right in the back of the head.
And then the movie ends. And I had to sit through the credits because oh whoa, it's magic, was playing. And I just sat through the whole thing, and Netflix tried playing whatever was next. I'm like, no, Netflix, go back to the credits. I don't want your stupid 15-second timer.
Jesus.
So yeah, before we move on to accolades and trivia and goofs and finish this thing up. Matt, what is your score for this podcast?
Oh. Happy Gilmore.
Your highest so far is Airheads with 7.
Yeah. Well, this is a lot better. I'm going to give this like a solid, like, this a 9.4.
9.4. And Matt, so you got 9.4 sandbags out of 10. What sort of flood could your 9.4 sandbags stop?
I reckon it could stop the sprinklers on the 9th hole.
Oh, damn it.
Ah, yes. I've been waiting for weeks to like think of something that you would have. Yes. I've been trying.
I don't think I will be able to rate a movie higher than the only movie I think that could potentially get higher than this for me is 51st Dates.
I thought you were going to say Uncut Gems.
Or possibly Uncut Gems. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But
I think The Waterboy is probably on par with this. And I think when we watch it, it's genuinely hilarious.
I think I'm going to put this in the 9s. No, I'm not. I'm going to be very conservative with this and give this an 8.6.
Ooh, okay. I just feel like if this is, obviously we've got a rating of 10. There's not going to be many higher than this. So I feel like I'm happy with a 9.4, if there is any higher.
Well, I've put 8.6 in now, so I can't change it.
No.
As soon as I type it in, it's
wait. You've not said how many sandbags.
So my 8.6 sandbags could stop the flow of Heineken out of that bottle after Happy Gilmore smashed it over a bar.
Nice.
And then to finish off, Matt, I've got a couple of awards that this movie won and was nominated for. So the first one here is the MTV Movie Awards. Sandler was nominated for the Best Actor role in a comedy. And Sandler and Bob Barker won the first ever Best Fight Award.
Nice. I reckon it's probably worthy of that.
Yeah, 100%. I think so. And then at the Kids' Choice Awards, it was nominated for Best Movie. And then at the Golden Raspberries, Sandler was nominated for Worst Actor, and Dennis Dugan was nominated for Worst Director.
See, I don't understand this.
No.
How can you have a Razzie for being the worst actor in a movie, and then you can go to the MTV Awards for also having the best comedic performance?
It's ridiculous. The Razzies are a piece of shit.
Oh, the Razzies are a complete piece of shit.
The Razzies are going to come back again with Jack and Jill, and at that Razzies, Adam Sandler won the Razzie for Worst Actor and Worst Actress.
Nice.
So
nice.
But yeah, the MTV Movie Awards Best Fight, first ever Best Fight as well. Pretty good. And Matt, do you have any pieces of trivia there, or what?
I mean, there's so many.
There's so much on IMDb. So much.
There's so much trivia. I mean, even most of it's just random little bits, like things that you don't need to know.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, it's full.
Like Lee Trevino regrets his appearance in the film and said if he had known how much swearing there would have been in the film, he would not have done it. That's not trivia. No one gives a shit.
Who's Lee Trevino? Is he
exactly?
Is he one of the
He's one of the greatest golf players in history. Great.
Yeah, and he plays himself.
Oh, nice. Well, shout out to that guy for being really good at golf.
Yeah, well done you, Lee Trevino. I wonder if he's the commentator. Yes, he is. So he's one of the commentator. He's the old commentator. And then the other commentator is Sandler's roommate from college. And I don't know if you noticed, but he didn't speak a word throughout the entire film. He just sat next to this guy.
That's so good. That's such an Adam Sandler thing to do as well. Just hire one of your mates.
Because of Bob Barker's cameo, rating for The Price is Right rose considerably amongst college-aged viewers.
That kind of makes sense.
So this movie was apparently this movie was part of what revitalized golf in the early 2000s. This and Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a really like iconic movie. Like, it's genuinely.
I
don't know.
It needs to be put into the Library of Congress if it isn't already there.
I'd say so.
And just preserve it forever. Another piece of trivia I've got here is Bruce Campbell auditioned for the role of Shooter McGavin. So Ash from The Evil Dead.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And potentially...
That would have been a different role, but yeah, that would have been good.
Potentially Mysterio in the Sam Raimi trilogy.
If they ever do Spider-Man 4,
I
they
think
should definitely do that.
I think he was supposed to be, but yeah.
Probably. Oh, he was supposed to be, yeah. Because he just kept popping in for random little bits.
Yeah. But he's probably most famous for Ash from the Evil Dead series. And
yeah, I'd say so.
And then I got a couple of goofs here as well before we finish up. Happy's golf in a tie on several occasions does not meet the standard dress code for professional golf and would disqualify him from any competition.
Fucked it.
Yep.
There's no movie without that, so
it's just golf snobs again. When it comes to unpaid property taxes, it has nothing to do with the IRS. It is a county assessor's issue. If the IRS has unpaid income tax, they would not seek to sell your house you are living in to pay the debt. So, another stupid goof. Didn't use the right government department to sell the house.
These goddamn movie writers not doing their due diligence.
It just takes everything out of reality, doesn't it? And then one more goof. Happy mentions that when he played hockey in high school, he took off his skate and tried to stab someone. No league at any level would allow this.
I was the only guy in my class to try to take off his skate and stab somebody with it.
Who writes these goofs?
I have no idea.
Who cares enough to write about the IRS being the wrong department and high school hockey not letting people stab each other? Who cares? Like, it's so annoying.
Let us all eat paste and stab each other with skates.
Do you have anything else to say about this movie?
Yeah. So apparently, here we go. Meanwhile, Chubbs Peterson's missing hand is an in-joke referencing actor Carl Weathers' film in Predator, where he loses an arm.
Yeah. Incredible. And at one point as well in this movie, Sandler goes to him, "Oh, why didn't you play a proper sport like football?" And he's like, "Oh, my mother wouldn't sign the consent forms." But Carl Weathers, before acting, he was drafted into the NFL.
Yeah, he played for the Raiders.
Yeah. So that's another in-joke regarding his life and character. But yeah.
Fucking Carl Weathers, what a beast.
You got anything else there before we finish up?
That's pretty much all from me now.
Yeah, same. I just want to say what a incredible movie. I actually looked at scripts online because I fancied buying signed Adam Sandler Happy Gilmore script. I'm like $360 plus $70 shipping.
That's actually not bad.
No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So maybe a Patreon goal. Happy Gilmore script signed by Adam Sandler.
The dream.
Yeah. But no, I was genuinely thinking of buying one this week and just keeping it on display.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But no, but top 10 movie easily. I forgot how much I loved it. It was so good, and I'm just
It's
disappointed that we're back to shit now.
Well, all right. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
I get that. I have absolutely no idea what's next week.
Oh, do you have that?
Yeah, I'm just getting it now.
I think it's Bulletproof. Double check
God.
that. With Damon Wayans Senior. Bulletproof?
Yeah, it's Bulletproof,
Yeah.
which is going to be interesting. And then, so yeah, we've got Bulletproof next week, which is the same year as this, 96. Then we got The Wedding Singer.
Fantastic. 2 weeks. 2 weeks time, I'll be crying.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week is Bulletproof, which I think is kind of like a Bad Boys type comedy, cop comedy kind of thing.
I've just hovered over the title here, and the picture of the movie makes it look like a Bad Boys comedy of sorts. So that's a pretty pretty good.
It's car in the background, Sandler and Damon Wayans.
Them, they're on a very straight road.
Yeah.
With like little guns in their hands, either side of the line.
Well, it was good enough to get a direct-to-DVD sequel 20 years later, so I'm sure it'd be fine.
Oh yeah, is that coming out on Netflix or
no? It's completely different actors playing the same characters.
Oh really? Oh,
yeah, but talking about sequels and this movie got remade for Bollywood in like 2016. And
of course it did.
And I tried watching it, but it was unbearable. A bunch of Sandler's movies have been remade. Billy Madison was remade for Bollywood. This has been remade for Bollywood. 50 First Dates has like 6 different remakes.
You fucking love that movie.
50 First Dates is, it's such a
I'm ready for that. I'm looking forward to doing that one.
Yeah, same. But yeah, next week.
I do have one more piece of trivia from this movie that I just saw then.
Yeah, take it away.
So, let me just find his name. I just want to get that first. Where is he? The guy who plays his boss.
Yeah.
What's his name? Richard Keel. It's Mr. Larson. He is in the original Longest Yard.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact.
So, yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact. He plays in the original Longest Yard, which we'll get to do in a few weeks.
A couple of weeks' time. Okay.
A few months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be ages.
It's going to be so long.
Yeah. You ready to wrap things up?
Yeah, I've got nothing else for this week, I don't think.
No, I think I'm done as well. Yeah, if you can rate us on Apple Podcast and Spotify 5 stars, thank you very much. Leave a nice little comment and we'll read that out on the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at SoSandlerousPod and send us a message there if you want to get in contact. Send us an email at SoSandlerouspod@gmail.com and we'll read it out on the pod. Apart from that, thank you for listening and see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you next time.